You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
My name is Watson.
And my name is Mariah.
We're 12 years old.
And we're representing Old Redford Academy Middle School. And we're here to talk about drugs. Drugs are very dangerous and unhealthy.
And they can also ruin a relationship with your loved ones. Go talk to a family member, a friend, even a teacher, or you can go to a therapist, or if you need any extra help, you can go online and find all of those.
Hashtag not worth it.
Good day, good people. Welcome to another exciting episode of Expose Under the Sun. I am your personal change coach and co-host, Heather Heteru. This week, we have a really special guest, and I am excited to introduce him. But before I do, we have to go through some of our preliminaries. One of the things that we talk about at the beginning of every show is ways to find your joy. So our segment is about community wellness and all the ways that we need to be well, we can be well, and then some things that may be familiar and some things not so familiar. But what we want to do is continue to perpetuate our community wellness and some exciting ways to do that. So I have a challenge on the table for this year, for 2022, being a manifesting year, which means that you have to make sure that you are manifesting what you want, not what you don't want. So that means you're going to speak all the things that you want, none of the things that you don't want, okay? We want to use our words to help promote our wellness and the things that we really want to see happen in our lives and our families and our communities, okay? So work with me on this challenge, and one of the first things that we do is we have to find ways to relieve stress. And one of the ways that we relieve stress, because the opposite of stress is actually joy. So how do we find our joy? So my goal is to make sure I share with you the ways that I share joy. So some of the ways that I share joy and I experience joy, and again, this is to help me to relieve stress and also to help me to reset, because sometimes just the tasks of daily life and daily living can wear down on your soul, right? With all the things going on, all of the legislation changes, all the things happening in our community, and some of the images that are constantly put in front of us, we have to find a silent place, that place of peace to reset. And so one of the ways that I do it, and I'm probably a little bit of an odd bird, but I like that anyway. Some of the different things that I do, one of the ways that I want to share with you, I actually want to try to get 3 in, but one of the first ways that I want to share with you about how I use my joy is I sit in silence. I actually sit in silence, and I'll let whatever thoughts are running through my mind, let them run, let them flow, and give yourself time to just decompress. Just unload. Think through those thoughts. Allow them to take you where they will, and then make sure that you have a hard stop, a reset. So when they start roaming in a way that is negative for you or away from what brings you peace, what you do is you count backward from 10. Focus solely on the numbers, counting back 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep cleansing breath. And release it. And then think now up to the things that you want. And so some of the things that even just you want to accomplish within that day, that one thought might be, okay, I want to make sure I take a hot soaking bath today. Maybe that's your thought today of something that you can do strictly for yourself that is not connected to your responsibilities or what you have to do for someone else. I want to make sure that you understand that when we find this level of peace, it is not attached to other people. It's not attached to your role as a parent. It's not attached to your job. It's not attached to your interest in the communities. This is solely about you and your peace. And so I want to go ahead and give you that tidbit for today, but I want to talk through it as we talk with our special guest today, who is also in the studio with us. I know our studio is a little bit different today. We had a quick pivot so that we could expand on what we do and how we look. So what we're going to do is introduce him as well as the team that helps to put this show together. First, I want to talk about Detroit Native Son News, who is the sponsor of this show. And if you're looking to advertise, please reach out to Valerie. Her number is 313-457-5944. That's Valerie at area code 313-457-5944. And Valerie will help you with any advertising needs with Detroit Native Son News. Or if you want to come up and be a part of the show and show some of your products or your services here, she's also the person that you would reach out to. And also our executive producers, Sharon Dumas, and our engineering team that's here in the studio with us, making sure that everything we're saying gets recorded, everything is in the probable flow of our best show. All right, and also that our co-host, Darren Griffin, who you'll see next week, is also our co-host on this show. So really excited to be a part of this show, really excited to be a part of this team to bring you this level of community wellness. Today we're talking about reshaping our gifts for entrepreneurship. And our special guest today is Tori Johnson. He is the designer and owner of Tori Customs. And so I want to just welcome you, Tori. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to have you here. I feel your good energy from over here. And so I want to start off by asking you this important question. How do you find your joy? How do you relieve stress?
Well, I relieve stress by going to the gym, playing basketball, creating art, shopping, things like that,
Okay.
fashion.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. Do you spend a lot of time playing basketball? I mean, do you designate an hour, 2 hours? How's that go?
When I go to the gym, time fly by so fast. When I'm playing basketball, I can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 5 hours, depending on how I'm feeling that day. But really, realistically, it'd be like 2 to 3.5 hours.
Wow.
But
That's a serious workout.
It don't feel like it. Maybe next day sometimes, but it don't feel like it.
Okay, so what about, how do you use art? How do you use your art to decompress?
Well, I use art. I like to create when I get these creative bursts. I just create something and just, do different things, just depending on what I'm feeling that day.
So what are your mediums? What kind of ways do you create art?
Well, my business, I do shoe designs. I create clothes. And to me, like, dressing up is an art. Like, putting on different clothes, nice clothes, making things match, whether it's a color-wise or the pattern. That's like an art to me. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I know you have a couple of your brands that you're going to share with us today. Do you mind just flashing one or two while we're talking?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So, right here we have a pair of, I don't know if they can see those. We have a pair of Air Force Ones. They were all white, so they were just some all white Air Force Ones. I deconstructed them. I put like the little laces on them, and changed the color from white to orange.
Okay.
So yeah.
So who's asking for your type of art? Is there a certain type of person that
People
looks for
around.
this?
So I'm 22. People around the ages of 17 to about 35.
Okay.
So people that sneakerheads or into fashion, that's really my niche right there.
Okay, so they're looking to coordinate the shoe fashion along with their outfits. Is that how it goes?
Yes,
Okay.
pretty much.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so how you relieve your stress is really important. Would you agree?
Yeah, it is. It is important.
So what would you suggest? Okay, let's just say that there's someone in that age bracket, your customer bracket. How of the ways that you relieve stress, how would you also kind of ask them or share with them that they would use the same kind of techniques? What do you think is the best way? Does it matter if you're male or female?
Like my brand is called TXRY Customs. So my name is Tori, and I took the O out and put the X. So life to me is custom. Like, everybody has a different path. Everybody has different things that they like to do. So with me, what works for me might not work for somebody else. But I mean, for a man and a woman, going to the gym might work for both of them if they like going to the gym. Some people don't like gym activities like running. I really don't care for running. I don't like jogging and stuff like that. So that won't work for me. With just regular jogging, but if I'm running up the court basketball, then I don't mind that. But just going on runs and stuff like that, that don't work for me. But as far as relieving stress, it's different. It's a million ways. It's just people just got to step out their comfort zone and do different things.
Okay, well that absolutely makes sense. All right, so we're going to get a little bit into our questions. So talk a little bit about your background, and you're a local designer. You're from Detroit, but
Yes.
talk about your background and what ideas influenced you as an artist on your journey.
So basically, I started my brand TXOY Customs in 2015. I was in 10th grade at Cass Tech. I was playing football at the time, and I got inspired by Mason Margiela, Kanye West, and Chief Keef. Chief Keef is a rapper, of course, and Kanye West is an artist. And Mason Margiela is a fashion brand. So what happened was Mason Margiela, they had this red shoe, which Chief Keef wore a lot, and Chief Keef was one of my favorite artists. He still is at the time. You know, he was popping more than he is now, but he one of my favorite artists. So he inspired me, and he had a pair of shoes, and he wore them a lot. He called them the Caps, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, I took a pair of Timberlands that I used to cut grass in and shovel snow in, and I redefined them. I dyed them red, and then I imitated the Mason Margiela design on the Timberlands. And then I wore them for my birthday, and then a lot of people see me wearing them, and they thought I bought them from the store, and I got compliments every time I wore them. So I just started doing it for people for free, and then it turned into a business, and now it expanded to different industries.
So is it a lucrative business? Are we talking?
Yeah,
What would something like that cost? A range?
So right now, I'm in the process of tweaking my prices. I'm having a price range instead of a set price. So right now I'm a range from $200 to $500. It just depends because everything is done by hand by me. Right now I'm looking for a team to be a part, but everything is done by hand as far as like the custom shoes. So like as you can see, these were like custom dip. They were tie-dyed, and basically you have a purple. It's like an ombre, so you have a blue fading into purple. And something like this, I'll charge probably like $200.
Okay. Okay.
And I've been doing it since 2015, so I really like mastered the skill of painting. And like it's when you think of painting, a lot of people just try to paint, but it takes time. Not saying that I feel like anybody can do it. If it's your passion, you'll figure it out.
Right.
But yeah.
So do you think were there other, like, was there a support system where there were people encouraging you to go for it?
I feel like with my mom, she told me that I should start my brand, like a fashion brand, back in like 4th, 5th grade, because I used to like these designer jeans everybody wore called True Religion brand jeans, and it was like a fashion staple. And so my mom was like, you spend all this money on these jeans, or you want all this expensive stuff, you might as well just start your own brand. So my mom was like the first person to encourage me to start my brand. And at first I was young, and I didn't think of it as being me. I just thought of it as a consumer. And I didn't. But as I got older, I just started being more into that. And I say my mom is a supporter, of course, certain people in my family and friend groups. And then, like, people that I don't even know, that be your biggest supporters, is people you don't know. And, but yeah. And going to, like, Cass Tech, and I was involved in a lot of activities at a young age, so I met a lot of people. So a lot of people will support.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the next question has to do with insights for people understanding their own gifts and abilities. What suggestions or what advice would you give people about finding their own gifts and passion?
Really, you just gotta think outside the box, chase your dreams. If people try to deter you, you can't be around those people. You just gotta be around people who are like-minded and creatives, or just people that want to have the same interests as you.
So where would one find like these creatives? How would you connect if you're not a part of that circle?
If you like into basketball, you're gonna go to the basketball court. If you're into art, you're gonna go to like art galleries, or if you're in fashion, you're gonna go to modeling events. You know, you do some research, or YouTube. YouTube is what taught me a lot, you know, and it's free. Thank God, you know, we help it stay that way with inflation going up.
Right,
but,
right.
YouTube taught me a lot of stuff. So just YouTube, and you can go on Eventbrite. It's always events on there that you could connect with people, and it just depends on what type of industry you're going in.
That makes a lot of sense. So if say that there's an artist, I notice you have a lot of body art. Do you help people develop the concept for their own clothing, or even the body art that you?
Well, right now I mainly focus on myself and my brand. Eventually, I do want to be to the point where my brand is established and I can cater to people and, you know, help people. But a lot of times people come to me for fashion advice or certain advices on art. So I would say so, but I don't specialize in that yet.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay. And so my next question is, you have decided, or you've chosen entrepreneurship as your career pathway. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about some of the highs and the lows and being a young entrepreneur.
Sometimes, you know, it's not to discourage anybody, but you got to be strong for the lows, because the lows can be real lonely, you know. And they come, you know, they come and go. But you had the wins too. But a lot of times I feel like it's just you know, taking those L's, which it is, because when you have a business and it's just you, like a small entrepreneur, if it fall, you got to pick it up yourself. So my best advice is to get a team who had the same mindset and the same goals. Of course, they're not going to be as passionate as your dreams, but they can have a certain type of passion that help your dreams. So I would say, like, being the highs of being an entrepreneur or a business owner is you have certain freedoms. And
like what would be some of those freedoms?
Well, if you're a successful business owner, you don't have to, you really on your own time, even though you know you working hard, you always working. Like for me, I'm always working. I'm always thinking of different ways, even on, like, it's hard for me to have a day off, because it's not that, like, I don't really even be wanting to have a day off. Like, I just have ideas all the time, and I think of different ideas at different moments. So I'm be like, let me write that down, and that's a part of being an entrepreneur. Like, I could be in Florida on vacation, and I'm still thinking business. So it's really hard for me to cut back. And then, like, when I was younger, a lot of times, my mom would be like, you should have business hours when people, you know, meet up with people and customers, which is true. But I just wanted it so bad, and I wanted it so bad. So I always be like, I got to keep going. But ups and downs, I would say another up is, you know, you can do what you want to do. The freedom, of course, is you don't have a set salary, which is a gift and a curse. You don't have a set, you don't never know when your next dollar is coming, unless you got it automated based somehow. But you never know when your next dollar is coming. You can be at zero, -$10, -$100 today, and then tomorrow you get $500,000 or something like that.
Right.
So it really just depends, and that's what I like about being an entrepreneur and a business owner. I don't have a set. I'm not limited. I don't like to be limited. So that's pretty good that you're not limited, and you could do whenever.
You know, I think it's interesting because I believe you are considered our generation. Is it they call it a couple of different names. They call it boomlets, and they call it Generation Z.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I forget.
And so, but it's really pretty much people who were born in this particular generation are strong entrepreneurs. And I think because of the level of creativity that you're born with, the level of freedom, and in the midst of this technological living in front of the screen kind of world that we're in, I mean, everything people are living online, people are living on social media. I mean, you're kind of living your life, you know, the reality shows, all of those things is part of this generation that that particular generation is born into. And so you were born with technology as a partner. You were born with technology as, you know, I kind of want to say a parent, because we used a lot of technology. We used baby monitors, you know, where you could interact with your child. They could hear your voice and you're talking through, you know, a piece of technology, you know. So I think that with that in hand and that as almost as a tool, you can see babies. I have two nieces that were born and 2 grandsons that were born in the last year. And if you hand them a cell phone, they know to push buttons. They know to put the cell phone up to their ear. They know to talk. They know, you know what I mean? It's incredible to me. But I think that's part of cultivating this idea of entrepreneurship, because you have a lot of things at your fingertips. You can look up something and build from that. And I think that's a really exciting opportunity that as a community that we have to be able to embrace, but we also have to establish boundaries. Like, when is too much too much? Or what is a realistic, you know, way to look at your dreams? Not that we want to limit you, but I think if so much of what you're living is so much more material versus material and virtual, let me say that, because, you know, we're also where you can create a reality, live in that reality. And with all of the virtual real estate that's going on, you start to forget that there's an actual physical space. There's dirt and there's trees and there are all of these real life things that we have to also value outside of just that. But I think those are some of the things that are cultivating the idea of entrepreneurship amongst young adults, amongst even younger. You know, they're entrepreneurs as young as 5 years old now. You know, they've taken a lemonade stand to like infinity and beyond, really. But I mean, but being able to see that and help to cultivate that in this particular generation, I think is also a tool that we have to embrace as a community, and it's part of our wellness, because it's what shaped this generation. And so, my last few questions for you is, how have you identified what your purpose and your passion are?
I feel like my purpose and my passion is to help other people. I like helping people. You know, like I like helping like homeless people or helping people that need help, as far as like people that be on the streets. You know, because I feel like I put myself in other people's shoes, and a lot of people don't do that. And so I just like to help and give back. And I feel like that's my purpose. And my purpose is just to also create generational wealth for my family and also financial literacy. So that's what I feel like my purpose is.
Awesome. Well, that's an incredible vision. That's an incredible purpose to have in your heart for your family, and know that you're providing for generations. It's not just about what's today, but what the generations to come. The other, let's see. How would you explain? Okay, wait, before I get to this last question, I do want to make sure that our listeners and viewers are able to find you.
Okay.
How can they find you? Can you give us some contact information?
So right now I have 2 Instagram business pages. I have Dielit, DIELIT which is Dielit, ODIP that's my clothing brand. I ain't really get to talk much on that. And then my main brand, or the shoe custom clean and restoration brand, is TXRY Customs, and both of those pages are on Instagram and Facebook. I'm working on the YouTube for everything, and I also have TikTok for those pages. So again, that is TXRY Customs on Instagram, TikTok, and Dielit, DIELIT ODIP on Instagram and Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, I'm tripping. TikTok.
Okay.
And like I said, the YouTube channel is coming.
Okay. So thank you for that. I do, if you're able to show one of your clothing designs, if you can pull that up right quick. We want to make sure we take a peek.
We have I just took it out the package, so it kind of got some wrinkles on it. But We have a flannel. So this is something I dropped last fall, and it's just like a flannel. It's embroidered with a dye sublimation patch. So
Okay.
so that's the front, and then the back. And so with my clothing brand, we didn't really get to talk much, but the clothing brand is basically, it's a streetwear brand, and we're focusing on quality products with the higher, demand and supply. So we want to keep everything limited and limited edition, because me growing up, I like limited edition things.
Okay.
And I always was fascinated with things limited edition. So we're going to keep the brand like that. And basically, yeah, it's an apparel brand.
And
a
so
streetwear brand.
So what does that entail? Is that hats, shirts, pants?
Everything.
Socks?
We're gonna do everything.
Okay.
Everything. We're gonna have everything.
Okay.
The only thing that I might not, I might do shoes, probably designer like shoes, but right now my focus is on pants, shirts, hats, glasses, accessories.
Okay. And so, is it only for males, or is it for male
It's a
and female?
unisex brand. It's gonna be a unisex. It is a unisex brand.
Okay, so that means that a sister could pull up that shirt and rock it
Yeah,
with
if
her
she won't.
custom
If she won't.
shoes.
If she won't. Yeah,
Well, because
would
I
hope so.
have some really cute orange shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be nice for the fall.
Okay.
Right. I do want to just wrap up two things. Can you share what dialect means?
So dialect is don't include everyone life is time. My uncle Tristan, he makes movies. He helped me with the name, but basically, I want everybody to live life to the fullest. The clothing brand is a lifestyle. So chasing your dreams, chasing your passion, like limiting your focus to those things. And me, I'm an adventurous person. I want to skydive one day. I like to go jet skiing, ATVing. I like to play basketball, just being active. I don't like to just be in a house and do nothing. So that's what basically the synopsis of the brand is. And I want to cultivate that into fashion. So bringing it all together in art, fashion, and just a lifestyle, it all go hand in hand.
That the name is amazing, and you can get being I think older, you can judge a book by its cover, right? We think we know what we're looking at, and with our generations, you guys are so creative that we can miss something really important because of our old way of thinking or being stuck in a judgmental mindset. So as we wrap up today, I want to thank you, Tori, for being here, for sharing your brand, and for encouraging others and for helping others, for being your best, because if you're your best, there are people who are my son's age who can look at you and be inspired and encouraged to do more and be great. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your products. Thank you for making them available. And we know you are going to continue to be a success on this journey. And we are talking about community wellness. So part of community wellness is really around our ability to use our gifts and then create something from those gifts and our special abilities. And you are a great example of how that's being done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our listeners. I want to reinforce that if you want to advertise with Detroit Native Son News, to please reach out to Valerie at area code 313-457-5944. Again, that's 313-457-5944. I am your personal change coach, Heather Heteru. You can find me at yourinspiredjourney.com. Again, that's yourinspired with a D, journey.com. You can reach me at 313-759-7855. Looking forward to hearing from you. Let's connect. Let's talk about our community wellness. Let's take the steps to make sure that we stay well, because this is how we create a healthy and well community. Just by doing our part. Remember, our challenge for this year is to find new ways to express your joy. So we'll see you next time. And next week, you'll see our co-host, Darwin Griffin, who will be live at Expose Under the Sun to give you some insight into what's happening in our community. So thank you again for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you our next exciting episode. Take good care.